Hi, so welcome to the solution of this annoying gap that appears at the roof on a Cabriolet C4s. It's one of two problems you could experience. One of them is a failure of the rivet and the other one is the actual cable breaking. I've experienced both, so here is the result of my investigations and a probable solution that, well, seems to work for me, and I think it's worth giving it a go yourself. Went out the roof on the C4s. So there's a cable that runs down here and it attaches under there somewhere, except taking it off there. Attaches there, it runs up and goes through this beading and attaches up here somewhere. What typically happens is rivet in there breaks, or the cable gets corrosion and eventually snaps. In my case, the rivet went about 6 months ago, did a repair on that, and now the corrosion has caused this to snap. So I took it out a little while ago. I've got a solution now and I'm hoping to fit it. The solution consists of this. So we've got an eye at one end and we've got this device at the other, which is designed to hang chandeliers from ceilings and has a breaking strain of about 30 kilograms even. So I'm hoping that's going to work. It's adjustable. Push the cable through there and you can pull out what you need to make the cable the correct length through there, and then tighten this up and it's supposed to be secure. We shall see. Just an interesting note, the Porsche equivalent, which has just got a crimped eye on each end, one end is left blank so you can feed it through, is 80 quid, and this was £12 from a local picture framer. So let's see what happens. So we're in a half open position there. If we have a look at that, we can see that under there's a trim that needs to come off, or at least be loosened. That'll become clearer in a moment. I need to take these off here because it's under there, and here you can see the cable at the back, and it's loose because this is down, but it needs to be fixed up under here. So let's see what happens. Let's take a few screws out. First thing is to get rid of this, and this just relatively easy pull off there. When you do that, it exposes some screws under there. One missing there, look. Under there. So these screws have got to come out, and that'll mean we can then get to another plate. But I just need to release that screw in there so that we can lift this forwards. Taking this screw out here. It's one of them Torx screws, whatever. Need to put that somewhere safe so that can go on the floor there. Generally end up with one more screw left after I finish than when I start. Don't expect today will be any different. Anyway, so you can see I've taken that screw out there as well, and that one up there is coming out. That one's out. And then the final one that I'm going to take out is just this one up here. I can't operate the camera and do that at the same time. So, having taken those screws out the front and these up under here, those three, well, it's supposed to be three, that pulls down, that enables that to just be released off there. So, what we've now got is this plate held on by these three, and that's the sort of clamp part. So we'll release those, and then that should be able to peel this back gently so we can get to what we want to see. Taking those three screws out. Now, what we do is come up here, and you can see this now, not freely, but will come out from under there gently with some persuasion. But under there, okay, there's another hidden screw. So if you don't do that, don't take that one out, you can't release it. So I'll do that now. Right, so you have to untuck this a little bit from the roof because I need to get access to the plate that's under here. So, yeah, look, there we go. There it is. And what we find is probably, in this case, the wires broke. Okay, so let's pause here and have a look at the two issues that can arise that cause this gap in the roof. First is the failure of the rivet, and you can see that I've replaced the rivet because it failed earlier with that little screw and self-locking nut. You need to salvage the rivet itself because it's got a bulb on the end which captures the eye that sits on it and thus stops it coming off. So I already did that and that was a success. But then the cable snapped due to corrosion. So this is carrying on from this point, looking at the fact that it was the cable that broke this time and the solution for that. Important thing about the solution is you need to get 2mm high tensile cable to go with that little attachment that I'm using to enable me to adjust the length to be correct to give that torsion that you need when it closes. That is a bit trial and error. You need to measure from the center of each eye, top and bottom, to make sure you get the right length. If it's too long and you put it back together, it won't shut properly. Okay, so I've tightened this cable up by pushing that little bit in, pulling it through while holding it there, screwing up that little cap, and that makes it solid. It can't now come back out through there. Just to secure the end, tie the knot on the end of the cable. Put a cable tie around there, cable tie around there, so hopefully these two things don't come apart. Next thing is to put it back together and test it. So there we have it. I reversed the process I undertook in taking it all apart and operated the roof, and it was fine. You do have to be careful about the length to make sure it gets the right torsion. If you shut it and there's still a gap, I suggest you would need to shorten the cable a little bit more and adjust it again and then put it back together again. So it's a bit long-winded if you haven't got the torsion right to start with, but you just got to be brave and go for it. So hopefully you enjoyed this. This is my first attempt at doing one of these things and bugging it on YouTube. So comments will be welcome, and best of luck and happy motoring in your Porsche 996 Cabriolet. Cheers.